All right, so now we're moving on to the next tab, which is Smile Harmony. When we go through these, this is kind of the sequence that I like to go through. First of all, I like to go to just midline and just shift things to the left and to the right. I'm focusing really just on the centrals, making sure that the midline is lined up, the frame of the simulation lines up with the reality of what the patient actually has. The next thing I move to, by default, it always goes to this. This is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the number 2 setting is where it just kind of defaults to. I like to typically just move everything to the this monotonic setting. This other one is the more dominant one. It just basically raises up the laterals rather. I find that most patients kind of like things to be smooth along the edges. Again, we're going to do more of this tweaking when we get to the advanced tab, but the Smile Harmony just kind of gets things set generally where we want it to go. So after the midline, after the dominance has been slid over here to monotonic for, again, default, not as a rule every time I go there, but that's where I start. The next thing I look at is the occlusal plane and the smile curve. If you'll notice, let me zoom out just a little bit. Okay. If you notice, I go to occlusal plane, I kind of go back and forth. Mostly it's the posteriors that are moving. There is some movement in the canines and the laterals. It's very, very slightly with the centrals, but a lot of the movement is happening on the very back teeth. I go to smile curve. Now you can kind of see there's more movement, kind of like in the middle. Like the canines are doing a lot of movement, and then the other teeth around it are moving as well. But there's a little bit more of a bowing of the smile in that regard. So again, when I'm moving these things back and forth, what I'm trying to do is get the get the alignment just right there, but get the occlusal plane to just kind of line up again with the canines, get the premolars to be where they should be, and just the general shape of the smile. Now this is the part we're probably going to spend a lot more time on, and it is these templates down here. There are 10 different templates that you can toggle through. Some teeth are more square, some are more rounded, and so there's different ways that you can try out different frames with this. And if you want to toggle this all the way over to colors, again, this isn't going to be the true color, so this can be a little distorted when you're trying to visualize it. But this kind of gives you an idea of the basic shape of what you maybe want for this smile, what might fit this person. It's always good to kind of back out when you're looking at this person to make sure it kind of fits with their overall face. Of course, the further you move out, then you lose some of the detail, but you kind of get something that might fit right for this person. So you can do it with the shapes on when you're trying to zoom in to kind of get an idea of what will match what the patient already has, to make sure that whatever restoration you put on, a veneer or a crown, or if they need crown lengthening, that you're going to be able to match the shape of the tooth to what you actually have to work with when you actually do the case clinically. So you can move these around and see what shape that you like the best, again, with either the zoom in with the frame on or zoom out with the colors on. That usually seems to work the best. If you find that you don't like that one theme all the way across those front 6 teeth, what you can do, let me zoom in again, is you can actually select a tooth and you can change not just that tooth, but its counterparts. You can select, in this case, a lateral. It's going to change both teeth number 7 and 10. If you go highlight this box, and then inside there, you click with your mouse key and slide up, and it's kind of touchy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I haven't really found out how that works precisely every time. Or you can slide it down, and you can see that the other teeth are, there we go. That sometimes they click, and sometimes they don't. Anyhow, you can see that I can just change the laterals in this case, but keep the centrals and the canines right where they should go. The same thing here, you can change the centrals sometimes not. Yeah, I wish they would make this a little bit more user-friendly. Just by clicking the side things over here just changes all 6 of them at the same time. But there are ways that you can change the canines, and sometimes it's easier on the iPad version. But you can change these individually. It just takes a little more practice, I guess. So when it comes to the Smile Harmony tab, that's what you're doing. You're trying to getting closer and closer to what your final outcome is going to be. The next one we're going to be looking at is frame in the next video.